Imagine waking up. You don't even open your eyes completely before reaching for your phone. One notification becomes five. Five becomes 20 minutes. Then somehow, it's an hour later. You weren't looking for anything. You weren't even enjoying it. Yet you couldn't stop. Now here's the disturbing part. Social media isn't competing with Netflix. It isn't competing with YouTube. It's competing with your own mind. Because every swipe, every notification, every tiny red icon was engineered to hijack one of the oldest survival systems inside your brain. And once you understand how it works, you'll never look at your phone the same way again. Most people think social media addiction is caused by weak self-control. It isn't. Some of the smartest neuroscientists, behavioral psychologists, and billion-dollar tech companies have spent decades discovering exactly what captures human attention. And they've built entire platforms around those discoveries. This isn't about blaming Instagram, or TikTok, or Facebook. This is about understanding why millions of intelligent people voluntarily spend years of their lives staring at a glowing rectangle. Today, we're decoding the psychology behind social media addiction, and more importantly, how to escape it. The attention economy. Here's something strange. When you use social media, you're not actually the customer. You're the product. Your attention is the product. Every extra second you spend scrolling creates more advertising revenue, which means their goal isn't simply to entertain you. Their goal is to keep you there for as long as possible. Think about Las Vegas casinos. Notice how they rarely have clocks, very few windows, bright lights, constant stimulation. Why? Because awareness of time makes people leave. Social media works the same way. Infinite scrolling removed the natural stopping point. Autoplay eliminated decision-making. Notifications constantly pull you back. Everything is designed to answer one question: how do we keep this person here for another minute? Those minutes become hours. Those hours become years. Why infinite scroll is so powerful. Our brains evolved in environments with endings. A finished meal, the end of a conversation, the last page of a book. Social media removed endings. There's no last post, no final video, no completion. Your brain keeps searching for closure. That never comes. Psychologists call this an open loop. The mind hates unfinished experiences, so it keeps scrolling, looking for a stopping point that doesn't exist. Most people say, dopamine is the pleasure chemical. That's only half true. Dopamine isn't about pleasure, it's about anticipation. It drives wanting more than liking. Imagine pulling a slot machine. Sometimes you win, most times you don't, yet people keep pulling. Why? Because uncertainty creates stronger dopamine spikes than certainty. Now think about social media. Will the next post be funny? Will someone like your picture? Did your crush reply? Is there breaking news? Every swipe is another pull of the slot machine. Sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes you find something amazing. That unpredictability trains your brain to keep checking. Not because you're enjoying every second, but because your brain keeps expecting the next reward. This is called variable reward, one of the most powerful behavioral principles ever discovered. But here's where it becomes even darker. Because social media doesn't just exploit your curiosity, it quietly changes how you see yourself. And once that happens, putting the phone down becomes much harder. Humans have always compared themselves to others. Thousands of years ago, that comparison helped us survive. Who had more food? Who had higher status? Who was respected? Our ancestors needed this information, but today's brain faces something completely different. Instead of comparing yourself to 50 people in your village, you're comparing yourself to millions, and not to their real lives, to their highlight reels, vacations, luxury cars, perfect bodies, expensive dinners, filtered faces, smiling relationships. Your brain doesn't naturally understand that these are carefully selected moments. It treats them like reality, which creates a dangerous illusion. Everyone else appears happier, more successful, more attractive, more fulfilled, even though they're often comparing themselves to you. It's a mirror made of illusions, and everyone believes someone else has the better reflection. FOMO isn't new. Being excluded from the tribe once meant danger. Isolation could literally mean death. Our brains still carry that wiring. So every story, every event, every trending topic triggers the same ancient fear. If I'm not there, am I being left behind? The platform doesn't create that fear. It amplifies a survival instinct that already exists. Here's one of the biggest psychological shifts. At first, you use social media to express yourself. Eventually, you begin changing yourself to perform better on social media. You choose experiences because they'll look good online. You edit your personality. You filter your appearance. You measure moments by how shareable they are. Slowly, as life becomes content, instead of asking, "What do I enjoy?" your brain starts asking, "What will people think?" Psychologist Irving Goffman once described life as a stage. Social media turned that stage into a global arena. And unlike real life, the audience never leaves. Validation loops. Imagine posting a photo, then checking 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, 30 minutes later. Your emotional state starts rising and falling based on numbers, likes, comments, views, shares. Without realizing it, your brain begins outsourcing self-worth. The frightening part? The algorithm decides who sees your content, yet many people interpret those numbers as judgments about themselves. But the biggest danger isn't wasting time. It's something much more subtle, because social media doesn't just steal attention. Over time, it changes how your brain experiences reality itself. Boredom feels uncomfortable, but boredom has always had a purpose. It's where creativity begins, reflection begins, problem solving begins. Many great ideas appeared during walks, showers, long drives, moments of silence. Today, those empty moments disappear. Standing in line, phone, waiting for coffee, phone, elevator, phone, before bed, phone. Your brain never gets uninterrupted time. Constant stimulation weakens your ability to tolerate stillness. Eventually, silence itself starts feeling uncomfortable, which is exactly why so many people say, "I can't focus anymore." Attention, like a muscle, weakens when constantly interrupted. Can you escape? Yes, but not through willpower alone, because this isn't simply a habit, it's an environment. Instead of fighting your brain, change the environment around it. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Charge your phone outside the bedroom. Create moments where boredom is allowed to exist. Go for walks without headphones. Read physical books. Have conversations without checking your screen. None of these are dramatic, but together, they slowly return ownership of your attention. Because attention is the foundation of your entire life. Whatever controls your attention ultimately shapes who you become. Here's a question. If someone controlled what you looked at, what you felt, what you desired, and how long you stayed distracted, would you call that freedom? Most people think addiction begins when you lose control. Psychology suggests something different. Addiction begins the moment you stop noticing who's making your decisions. And maybe the next time your hand reaches for your phone, you'll pause. Not because social media is evil, but because awareness is the first step toward freedom. The goal isn't to delete social media. It's to make sure social media doesn't quietly delete your attention. If this video changed the way you think, share it with someone who spends more time scrolling than living. And if you're fascinated by the hidden psychology behind everyday behavior, subscribe to Cipher. Every week, we decode the invisible forces shaping your mind so you can stop living on autopilot and start seeing the world with new eyes. Because the greatest mysteries aren't out there. They're already inside your own mind. See you in the next Cipher.